it becomes like an off switch, and we can't. It becomes a moral thing, almost a moral issue there.
It's very...
A dildo
strange.
is never going to look like you.
Well,
Genghis Khan. Let me get me a piece of paper. Wednesday, 3rd of October.
It's Wednesday. Wednesday's strange.
yeah, because we couldn't do Sunday.
Because we were all still drunk.
I wasn't still drunk. I was home and in bed for 11:30.
You were driving, weren't you?
Yes.
Anyway, Twitter, at Amish IQ Podcast. Website, theamishinquisition.com. Email us at theamishinquisition@gmail.com. Follow, like, subscribe at iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. I have some corrections.
Oh, God.
Excellent.
Corrections, addendums, and corrigendums.
Whoa. Cardamom?
Corrigendum. You're familiar with a corrigendum?
No.
What herb is that?
If you were familiar with the IET wiring regulations, you would be familiar with a corrigendum.
Is this edition
next door to
18?
Carthage.
This is the 18th edition, but the previous iteration was I think it was
17.
the 17th edition, Amendment 3, Corrigendum 1. I think
Fucking hell.
Corrigendum is the same as an addendum, basically, but particularly pertains to written books. It's mistakes, correcting mistakes in books.
Oh, right, okay. I've never heard of that before.
So corrections. The last Tsar of Russia, we were calling him Alexander.
Who was it? Nicholas?
Nicholas II.
Fuck, I should have said Nicholas.
And we discussed his lineage.
Weren't we pretty drunk at that point? Though?
Yeah, probably. But, for posterity.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Tsar Nicholas II, his mother's siblings were King Fred VIII of Denmark, George I of Greece, Nicholas, his wife, and the Kaiser, and they were all first cousins.
No surprise there.
At the outbreak of World War I, Queen Victoria's grandchildren occupied the thrones of Denmark, Greece, Norway, Germany, Romania, Russia, Spain, and the UK.
And
I like how you're using your finger to read along the line there. That's excellent work.
That's first addendum.
Okay.
Yazidis.
Corriendum, isn't it?
Corrigendum.
Corrigendum.
Sorry.
Well, yeah. Not technically, but
That's in books.
Oh, right, yeah, shit.
The Yazidis are monotheistic.
One god.
One god. But the catch is it was a god that left the world in the control of like 7 angels.
Right.
Okay.
It
Scientology then.
Combines elements of Zoroastrianism, Islam, Christianity, and Judaism.
Get off the fence.
And Nineveh is the province in Iraq where they're mostly found, which I found interesting because Nineveh was an ancient city in the Assyrian Empire. It was like the first or second city, Nineveh.
So
And Zoroastrian was the Assyrian religion, so it stayed in that area.
That is interesting. So old as shit.
And we mentioned Ahura Mazda. You remember Ahura Mazda?
The car guy.
The car guy, car salesman.
Yeah.
He's like the supreme being in Zoroastrianism.
Oh, in Zoroastrianism.
Yeah. And the prophet in Zoroastrianism is Zarathustra.
Oh, yes.
Or Zoroaster.
Or Zorro.
So that's a really old religion
All right.
that we talked
Mexico,
about.
or wherever it was.
And also, interestingly, I found on Wikipedia, Zoroastrian is on the up and up in Iran since the Islamic Revolution.
Right.
It's as a sort of not a kickback. What would you call it?
An alternative.
Yeah, more antagonistic than that. The word I was looking for. But response.
Revolution.
Well, like as in a response to the Islamic Revolution, it seems to have gained popularity since then. Zoroastrianism. Which I thought was
Backlash.
interesting. Yeah, because it's so authoritarian and
Yeah.
it's church and state combined in it. It's completely different to our way of life. Quetzalcoatl,
Quetzalcoatl.
the plumed serpent. He was Aztec.
Not
Yes.
Mayan.
Not Mayan.
It's Incan.
Mayan.
the
The
same.
Mayan equivalent was Kukulkan
Oh, yes.
or Kukumats.
I wonder if
Google Maps.
Google Maps, yeah. And the last one, Easter Island. Easter Island was settled in 1200 AD.
Right.
Although there is some sort of different evidence that they've sort of have evidence from between 300 AD and 1200 AD, but currently 1200 AD is the best estimate.
quite a wide range.
It is.
Yeah. Not a lot to go off.
No.
Do you know what? Just say something, Ben.
Something, Ben?
No, yeah, we're all echoing in each other's ears.
It's very weird. I can't really hear myself think.
I think if I have one ear on, at least I'll know if the recording fucks up.
One ear on? Yes. That's a
You
good
know,
shout.
because we lost half an hour or something last time, didn't we?
Yeah.
So that's it. Other than that, welcome to a
Welcome.
midweeker.
To the Amish Inquisition.
This is games night. We
Oh,
have
yeah.
to shift it.
I know.
Have
But,
we
you
started
know,
playing Destiny yet?
No.
It's very good.
You have to play it within a team, though.
Well,
There's a story mode,
no,
isn't
you
there?
don't.
Yeah, I think you can play it a certain way, and then it gets too difficult, and you have to play it in a team, basically.
Okay, I'll probably hit that.
Oh, why you keep
Second
dying then?
level.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Is that a function of people like going into clans
Yeah,
and then ganging up on you? So it forces you to join a clan, and
I think so.
I think you don't have to necessarily, but it becomes almost impossible if you're a one-man band.
Yes, basically, yeah. So you have to be in a team, really.
Have you played it?
No, because I'm waiting to play it in a team.
All right. Just
You
went
can at
to
least learn the buttons and shit.
yeah. It's
Uh,
different to.
Is it not just?
COD.
Is it not just a button basher?
No,
No.
it's far too more complicated than that.
Is it? Why have you tried it as well?
Well, I've tried like the first level, but there's all sorts of different weapons and shields, and some weapons don't work against some shields and stuff like that.
Special powers.
Yeah, it
I've
seems
heard
quite
that.
complicated.
And you have to, like, obviously, like everything else, you have to level up.
Yep.
They call it the grind. Some video I watched.
Actually,
It's quite a significant grind at the beginning to
Yeah.
get yourself up to.
and then you have to go on quests as well, don't you, or something to get
think
better
there's-
and better weapons.
I think there are sort of a bit like in COD where you can do the where you pay the man to get a task to
Yeah.
go
Watermaster.
get 10 shotgun kills in 10
Yeah.
minutes or something. I think it's a bit like that, isn't it?
Well, no, I think you actually it's a level, so
Right.
it opens up a level, and then you have to do that.
I should
To
have got
get
DJ
the-
headphones
get the thing.
Yeah,
with the reversing cup.
do these not reverse?
These are fine.
No, they want to break.
Oh dear. Yeah. So what are we going to do that tomorrow then?
Your beavers are in, aren't you?
Oh yeah, Thursday.
I'll be back, and then I have to take him to bed, so I'll just be on later.
9.
Well, before 9, I'd fucking hope. Christ. Beavers finishes at 7:30,
Mm.
so home for 7:45. 8:15. Probably been here for 8:30, I'd have thought.
All right. That's all right. Standard.
Then there'll be some massive update.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can try.
Fuck it, it took forever to download.
I know.
60 odd gigabytes, wasn't it?
Mm.
I think there's loads of add-ons to it as well that you can buy.
For what, Advantage, or just skins like Fortnite?
Like extra levels and stuff.
Oh, well, that's the same with COD, innit? The DLCs.
Mm.
Right. I've not touched COD since I think we played Fortnite that first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my brain can't handle.
Probably more than one.
In fact, actually, we finished the first night. I think we played, or the second night we played Fortnite. Once we'd finished on the headphones, I went to COD just to play it, and I was fucking useless because the buttons were different.
Yeah.
Just completely getting annihilated.
Yeah, that's what
Shipment,
happens, isn't it?
1944.
Yes.
Yeah. It's quite difficult to do two things, isn't it? Play two things at the same time, kind of thing.
Unless, yeah, for old people like us.
I'm sure it takes a few games and you get you back into the groove, though, don't you?
Yeah.
You just got to give yourself that
Oh, I was
time.
going to say something. I've got my brother something for his birthday,
Can't tell.
but I can't say because he might listen.
Write it down.
Oh, write it down. What was that jazz hands thing you saw this week?
Fucking hell. Manchester University.
Is this for autism or something?
Now, they've said that... Oh, it might be related to autism, but they've said that they're not going to be clapping anymore at events. They're going to be just using the jazz hands because it's they were connecting it with BSL.
Oh,
So I think British Sign Language,
Oh.
you for applause, you do the jazz hands. Although I don't know why, because clapping looks like clapping. Anyway, it's soundist or something.
Yeah, because people who use sign language are deaf.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
I mean, you can
but
still see someone clapping. Yeah.
yeah.
What's the fucking point?
I don't know. I
Make any
don't
odds,
think
is
there's
it?
any point.
I thought when I saw like 2 seconds of an interview, and I thought she was saying they were doing it because spontaneous applause can upset certain people, basically.
Yeah. So,
like
if you
people with
startle these,
autism or Asperger's or things like that.
or if you're coming down off a freshers bender, or you're in a K, or you're in a K hole on Oxford Road.
Yeah. But there was, have you not heard about that thing at Morrison's? I think they do it on a quiet hour on a Saturday when they turn the lights down and there's no music or announcements.
That is one section of one working day.
Yeah.
It's not the entire.
No, yeah.
Students shouldn't be doing this across the board.
Yeah.
It's one thing for a supermarket to say we're going to have a quiet time for period of a day.
just linking it in.
Yeah, but there is a fundamental difference between the students' union saying, no, we are going to encourage no clapping. We are dictating that jazz hands is the way to go for pathetic reasons.
It was a bit.
Student groups and societies will also be encouraged to move away from audible clapping.
It's a bit bizarre, isn't it?
It is strange.
It comes back to this safe space thing.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of, you know about safe spaces?
Get out of my safe space.
No. You must know what a safe space is. Ben?
I've yet to find one.
What universities are encouraging and what they create. They create safe spaces, and they're trying to create safe spaces for people.
So the campus becomes a safe space for, as in, you won't get, murdered.
That's impossible.
No, not physically safe. No, a safe space for your feelings. It's about your feelings.
For your feelings.
Where your feelings won't be hurt.
So all feelings are acceptable in the safe space.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you two would have heard about safe spaces.
No
Fucking
way.
hell, it's been around for a couple of years.
There were no safe spaces at my university.
Rightly so. Universities are supposed to be places where you're challenged.
Yeah.
Your views are challenged, your opinions are challenged. You're given new information, controversial information and ideas. Mm-hmm. And you're supposed to learn how to sort it out in your head and expand your fucking mind. It's not supposed to be a safe space. We won't clap because we don't
I don't
hurt anyone's
understand this
feelings.
concept of a safe space.
No, I don't. But read into it because it's all over university campuses.
And is this specifically something that universities are endeavouring to do?
Yes, through student unions.
Right.
If they're just encouraging stopping prejudice and whatever, and say, well, this, don't be racist or sexist or anyist in our areas, then I suppose that's fine. But if is that leading to what is now known as a safe space?
Yeah, I'm sure we already had that.
Like,
Or
no,
if you did go to university and mouth off something racist or sexist or whatever, you'd be challenged. People won't run away to a safe space.
well,
People
I agree
challenge
that,
you on your views.
that you're not challenged anymore because you seem to just be kicked out straight away, don't you? If you have any kind of alternate viewpoint, maybe not. That's a bit extreme.
There's manspreading. There's microaggressions. You heard of microaggressions?
Microaggressions, yeah. You're doing some now, bitch.
Well, I don't care. It's tough. But you've heard
I
of
can deal with it.
You've heard of microaggressions. Safe spaces is linked into the same thing. It's the same culture.
Microaggressions.
Microaggression.
Aggression, sorry.
Crikey.
So Phil's posture now, I'd say,
That's
is
pretty camp.
It's a bit
microaggressive. It is a little
I'm a
camp.
fucking teapot.
The
Short and stout.
hand on hip is fairly stout. But he's getting all up in the microphone. He's getting aggressive.
Well,
He's raising his voice.
Talking,
voice.
It's microaggression.
Mansplaining. It's another one.
With purpose and feeling is a microaggression.
Could be potentially misconstrued as a microaggression.
Look up the
Therefore,
definition.
don't do it.
Look up the definition of a microaggression. I think it's more
Microaggression.
benign than what you're suggesting. I think it's
More benign.
Yeah.
Just a stern stare.
Yeah.
You know, tech companies having meetings about the length of eye contact between employees.
Oh, yeah.
More than 5. So you've heard of this?
I think so. Yeah.
So over 5 seconds becomes a stare. It becomes sexual microaggression.
Right. Okay.
You know, this is where it all comes from the same place.
Okay,
Political
Wikipedia.
correctness, essentially. But go on.
A microaggression is a term used for brief and commonplace daily verbal, behavioural, or environmental indignities, whether intentional or unintentional, that communicate hostile, derogatory, or negative prejudicial slights and insults towards any marginalised group.
Negative. So you can't say anything negative about a marginalised group. We have to be in a microaggression.
Well, you can't say it, express it in any kind of behaviour or environmentally.
It's not like having a flag.
Well, I'm kind of interested in what an environmental indignity is. Is that like a dirty protest?
That might be having like a dirty Great Union Jack outside your house. Some people would view that as a microaggression. That's
What
probably
about
a pretty good example.
driving a diesel car.
How
Is
does that affect a minority?
environmental? Is that affecting asthma sufferers, perhaps?
I don't know.
Is it an environmental indignity?
I would say not. Indignity is not the right word because it's a polluting thing, and we all pollute. We all have a carbon footprint. So I don't think I would call it an indignity. An environmental indignity is, to me, is something you do to the environment, which is derogatory or discriminating against a minority of any kind. So, like me, if someone put up a flag in the window, if someone came and sprayed down my van tomorrow, fuck off, left-handers, left-handed people,
Yeah,
because left-handed people are a minority.
lefty.
I'm oppressed as a left-handed person. No.
Yeah, you can't help
I'm
being
not.
cack-handed, though, can you?
I'm not, and I don't care.
And-
but people will use this
ambidextrous.
argument.
Are you ambidextrous?
No, he is.
Oh, really?
No,
He does all
little bit.
things all different
Ambivalent.
ways.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I can't do things
I
two
do
different
all
ways. I do
things all
different things
different
different
ways.
ways.
Yeah.
Can't play 2 video games at the same time.
Right, so we know what a microaggression is now. Did you look up safe space?
No, I'm looking at macroaggressions now.
German Mao?
Lynchings are an example of a macroaggression.
Really? I'm not
Aggression.
familiar with a macroaggression.
So, well, they've done it in terms of racism. So obviously, lynchings and beatings were macroaggressive forms of racism. A microaggressive would be, I don't know.
What's interesting is it seems to only apply when it's used against a minority.
Yeah, well, it says that in the description against stigmatized groups.
We don't
That's a
seem
bit
to have
weird,
the
isn't
same opinion when it's a minority doing it to a majority.
Yeah, that's not really fair, is it?
So what is it? What is it when it's just
Like if you said there is a certain thing about a certain minority using gangs of white women, young white women, and whoring them out and gang raping them.
Oh, I've got some examples here. just found
what?
out of racial microaggression. So
Go on
when people assume people of color and then POC in brackets are foreigners are from a different country.
So like
they'll
when you
just
say to somebody, where you from? And
Yeah.
they say Preston and they go, no, where you really from?
yeah, or why don't you have an accent?
If you went to India,
If you went
Yeah.
to India.
right, say I go to India
Yeah.
Okay.
and someone says, where are you from? Would I take that as an offence and think that he was being racist? I'm the
because
minority there in that country.
They
Is he
might be
being
just
racist
asking
against white-
where you're from.
Exactly, so it's fucking bollocks, isn't it?
Yeah, that's kind of bollocks. You're right.
So that's the first definition of a microaggression, is it?
Ascription of intelligence. So when POCs are stereotyped as being intelligent or assumed to be at a certain level of intelligence based on their race. So you people always do well in school for American Asian students.
Yeah, it's like you're going to China and saying, "Fucking hell, why are you so good at maths?" There is a
Denial.
good reason for it. It's to do with the counting system, but that's another story.
No, we talked about that
Yeah,
before.
we have, yeah.
Denial of racial reality. This is when a person emphasizes that a POC does not suffer any discrimination, thus implying they do not face
Whoa.
inequality.
That's interesting. So refusing to subscribe to this ideology immediately makes you racist in a microaggressive level.
Racially microaggressive, yeah.
That's really interesting. Just for disagreeing with the sort of premise. That's convenient, isn't it?
yeah.
That's how... Because if you say something, someone can just call you a bigot and shut you down. It's the same thing. It's just silencing the argument.
All Asian Americans look alike. So that is refusal to acknowledge intra-ethnic differences.
Wow.
And then there's some other stuff.
The first one was the most interesting.
Saying, yeah, where are you from?
Was that what it was?
So where are you really from? Or, why don't you have an accent?
Is that one an example?
Yeah.
Why don't you have an accent?
This was in focus groups with Asian Americans, which is why that turns up so
I don't know
much.
if that kind of assuming, like somebody can't be from England, or whatever, if they're a POC. Is that not ignorance rather than racism or aggression?
Is it not probability?
Yeah, ignorance as in you don't know and you're trying to find out
No, I don't
the answer
think
to a
so.
Well, the answer is either one answer or the other. They either are or they aren't on probability.
I don't think it's black and white.
Are you local?
Because whites are the majority.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Would you? I wouldn't assume if I spoke to somebody who was black or whatever, or Asian, that they weren't from England. I don't think.
It would depend on the accent for me. I mean, if they had
Even
like
if
a broad Nigerian accent, I would assume he's not from England. If he had a Lancashire accent,
I don't know
would.
if I would with that either.
Why?
Because I think sometimes you pick up an accent off your parents if your parents have come from Nigeria. Or
I don't
whatever.
think you have that amount of time to think it through. I think it's a snap instinct that you have.
What if
for
they
me.
were in an airport wearing ethnic clothes? Is that the right term?
Well,
like cultural attire.
A Nigerian man could have met an English woman on holiday and married her and then just moved over.
Yeah.
So he'd have a thick Nigerian accent. So there's obviously going to be examples of English citizens with thick foreign accents. That's obvious, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think my inclination is to assume that they're not from England if they don't have an English accent. Sorry, that's just how it is in my head. I wouldn't say it means I've got anything against them.
No, I think that probably would make sense to think that, wouldn't it?
Isn't where this gender bias, what do you call it? Gender bias when it's subconscious gender bias?
It's
Impartial?
There's an implicit bias.
Implicit, yeah. Doesn't that... I mean, the evidence is pretty shaky on it anyway.
This is back to tribalism.
Yeah, in that there's some sort of thing in your DNA where someone that looks physically different, it gives you almost like a threat or a fear response to some degree, and that affects the way you answer the question.
Like a defence, you're defending your...
What they did in the
tribe.
test was they take someone and show them pictures of people from their own ethnic background and people from different ethnic backgrounds, and they'd ask I think they asked a question and you had to rate it as positive for it. And people didn't mark people who were different lower and favour their own ethnicity. They answered the question slower, very slightly slower, in microseconds. So so they call that implicit because it's too quick to be, too insignificant to be conscious. It's a subconscious bias that a lot of people have. But
the theory is, isn't there, that because there's so much negative media, allegedly around sort of people of colour, that then that feeds into that bias essentially. That's where it comes from.
That could be one part. Could be.
Yeah.
It could be that it just goes back to the tribalism in our DNA, and that we respond differently
Yeah.
to people who are physically different. I think it's quite innocent. I don't think it's an issue at all. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that the people are poisoned by the media and that gives them this split-second delay. I think it's more.
I don't think it's
fundamental than that.
I think it's not to say you're poisoned by the media, but I think it's
no.
It's more that you take that information in, and because you process that information all the time, that it just produces a bias.
I mean, that assumes that the media and the news treat black people worse than white people.
I know, yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? But I think a lot of people have, done research into it and sort of said that it's more often that it's people, black people or whatever, or who are
reported
as a percentage. I've heard familiar things like that.
But I've never really looked into the research myself.
What I've heard from Jordan Peterson is that the research is pretty weak. And also the training doesn't work. The training has been shown to be not working. Unconscious bias training that these tech firms do with HR.
No, yeah, it's impossible, to counter. If
it's useless.
If the theory is true that it's society, it's pretty hard to counter the input of society.
I think on anything unconscious.
Well,
because it's so deep rooted. Yeah, so the training doesn't work, but these big tech companies are still paying to have it done.
Yeah, because they're covering their own backs, aren't they?
It's like an industry that's popped up.
You went on the implicit bias training, so you got to get fired for touching that girl's boobs. So,
But
that's basically it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, you shouldn't touch anyone's boobs without their permission.
I don't know.
Written permission.
Have you anything more to add to wherever we're going?
I think I've mentioned this before, but there's like the other thing about that bias thing is they've done some research into.
Your level's going to be all over the place.
It's not. It's fine. And we'll be. Do you want me to put it here? And. So they did the same. They did the same. They showed the same face of somebody and then changed the colour of it, basically. And
like that football advert.
I don't know. And it went from an aggressive face to a friendly face, angry to a happy face. And when they showed it to white people, they saw the white people go into the happy face quicker than they saw the black people's
time
faces.
delay.
Yeah, basically going to happy.
I don't dispute that it exists.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could well exist. I just don't think you can train it out of people. I don't think it's particularly a bad thing. I think we're past that, really.
No, yeah.
If it's unconscious, it has no, what can you do about it?
You can suck up the blame that people are going to throw your way for your unconscious bias.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter that you can't control it.
Because we still don't know how much your unconscious mind has power over your conscious mind, as to how much then that feeds
into proper racism.
Choices and how a small change in sort of a simple decision you make, dependent on that implicit bias, whether that has unintended consequences.
That means you're not culpable for any of your actions if your unconscious mind is.
Oh God! Yeah.
You just, anything can be explained away by it was just my ego, I guess,
or super ego.
Doesn't exist.
Alter ego.
It's the ego.
Altered beast.
The id.
Beast.
And something else, isn't it? I can't remember the other thing.
Id.
It's the id, the ego. And the super ego, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember which way around it is.
The cuckoo clan.
What's the crazy one? They're all crazy. It's Freud.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was Freud, wasn't it? He came up with that.
The id, the ego, and the super ego, yeah. And wanting to shag your own mum.
Yeah.
Touching your own willy as a child.
I don't think he's...
What does it mean as an adult? Just asking for a friend.
I don't think he's viewed with the same reverence as he was decades ago, Freud.
He is in certain ways because he basically made psychology a thing.
Psychoanalysis. Was he the first psychoanalyst? Psychoanalyst.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. It's a bit of trivia.
There you go, pub quiz.
Hot shot.
Where's Bolt when you need him?
People still do it. People still use psychoanalysis.
Yeah.
And it works.
People use
Some people.
electroshock convulsive therapy as well.
Did they still use that?
Yep.
Yep.
Quite a lot, actually.
In what cases?
I think it's
Fixing unconscious bias, that sort of stuff.
severe depression, I think. And maybe bipolar.
I was going to say...
Stop zapping yourself.
Carrie from that Channel 4 CIA drama.
Homeland.
Carrie from Homeland. She has it, doesn't she?
Homeland.
And she was and
Bipolar.
yeah, bipolar and depressed.
It seems to... the problem is it seems to work. But,
It's just horrifically unethical.
Well, yeah, it's unethical because I don't think people, from memory, I don't think they understand why it works. The theory is it kind of resets the electrical...
That shouldn't be a drawback. I mean, they didn't know Viagra was supposed to be like a cholesterol pill or something, wasn't it?
Heart, yeah, something to do with your heart, wasn't it?
Yeah, widens your arteries.
Yeah, they were researching a sort of pill for something else, and one of the side effects, weren't it, was the horn.
There's loads of stuff that...
So they just repackaged
age-related.
it, put it in a plastic lunchbox, and now they're selling it. They're selling it.
That age-related macular degeneration is cured with something that used to be used for... I can't remember if it was a cancer
It's a
drug or
cure
not.
for macular degeneration.
Age-related. A certain type of it can be treated with this drug that it's only licensed for... I'm pretty sure it's a cancer medication. But now they've found that it actually really sorts your eyes out. And it's a hell of a lot cheaper than the alternative medicine. So pharmaceutical companies are arguing over it. But the NHS and the government have just said, well, nice. No, well, instead of that, they've said, no, we'll have it because it's cheaper.
Oh, right, okay, that's good.
I think it's £800 for the actual licensed drug for AMD and £28 or something. These figures will be wrong, so look out for corrections next week.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a lot cheaper, and it's an off-license use of the drug, but that has good effects. So you could wait decades for trials and things to happen, or just fucking do it and see what happens. I personally think there should be a lot more of just fucking do it and see what happens.
Yeah,
because back in the day, that's how we progressed in science and medicine. We tried stuff out. You know, spoke about smallpox vaccine, all that jazz.
The vash.
So, the vash.
You think they should sort of deregulate pharmaceutical testing?
Not entirely.
And do it on poor
to a
people.
degree.
Yeah, criminals. Criminals and poor people.
Because people get paid, don't they? I had a letter through once. Do you want to take part in
yeah.
this
Look,
study?
you just Google it. and
Sleep studies are the best, man.
Is
Get
that
paid to go on
not, is that not a Black Mirror episode?
there. Probably an early one.
He gets a chip in his head or something.
No, this is a true story.
Yeah,
This is a true story. I've seen it, a documentary about this.
It was about 10 years ago, was it? Or
Quite
5 years ago?
recent.
When they died,
Yeah, some people died.
about 7 of them died.
Some people got
The
cancer
thing is,
after it.
they injected the injections too quick
That
down
was
the
it.
line.
That was
And
it.
so they injected them
That
all
was
in
it.
like 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And so they're halfway through injecting people
Yeah.
when the first guy starts getting
really
a
ill.
reaction.
Yeah.
Right.
And
And
then the next one, and then
and
the
then
next one.
all following in a chain.
And there was so many that they couldn't help everybody, basically.
Was it in the teens who were affected? Like 13 people or something like that. Maybe
I think
5
so,
died,
yeah.
something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
It's horrendous, yeah.
But you sign a thing saying,
Yeah,
I'll take my
wave,
£6,000.
To be fair, that wasn't... I don't think that was because they were trialling some sort of,
It was. That was it. They'd got the dose wrong.
the dose was wrong, yeah. It was a medical fuck-up.
It was
wasn't
something like they were supposed to be 1 part in 1,000 or 10,000,
elephant dose.
and they'd done it like 1 part in 100 or something,
Oh, fuck.
or something like that.
Yeah, so, I mean, you
Numbers
can
are
get
hard.
that happening with the regulations as they stand for pharmaceutical testing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, how far, if someone's really on hard times, they would do pretty much anything for money.
Yeah.
We know that. So, would you get some really dark, like
Birkin hair
backstreet,
sort of shit.
yeah, medical testing being done?
Probably, but
Wake
you know,
up in a
that's
bathtub of ice with no kidneys.
that's how you get your
Yourself.
cures.
Yellow.
You think that's a price worth paying?
Well, I don't know
If
why
you
it
had-
doesn't happen more often in other countries.
It
this sort of
doesn't.
stuff.
I'm
I
sure-
don't know
does
why
not-
it doesn't happen.
Does it not
more
just happen in China all the time?
often. I don't know. We wouldn't know, would we?
Exactly.
It happened a lot during the Second World War.
Yeah.
The Japanese.
Oh, what was that?
Unit-
741 or
Oh, you're close. Yeah, it's something like that. There's some sort of medical testing facility the
love talking
Japanese
about
army
this.
had.
This-
I've been
the-
warned not
the
to
Jap-
Google this, but
I know,
No.
yeah.
It's important. It's the truth. You need to know. That is what people are capable of.
I don't want to look. I don't really like
Human
like,
vivisection.
Human vivisection. And I used to. My wife used to know somebody who used to watch like Live Leak and watch all those videos of
Oh,
people getting
no.
their head cut off and all the rest of it. And I just don't
The
know how you
guards-
can watch it.
The guards would
731.
impregnate. 731, Unit 731. The guards would impregnate the women captives so they could do tests on pregnant women.
I know. Well, I know. So, I'm sure it goes on now places.
Yeah.
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So you need some regulation on testing.
Yeah,
medical
definitely.
testing. How would you spell that out though? How would you prevent those atrocities happening and still?
You can't prevent
Murder
atrocities
everyone.
happening.
The Skynet will sort it out. Just kill everyone. We want world peace, Skynet. Okay. And murder everyone, like we say all the time. Ugh. Basically.
Something came into my head this week.
Ooh.
Sex robots.
Oh, they're getting better.
They're alive. They're here.
They're talking.
What
apparently.
are the moral and social implications of sex robots?
Well, I suppose it depends if they're conscious.
Let's
No.
assume they're not,
Okay.
because they aren't currently.
Then
that's a big
what's the
leap.
difference between that and their fleshlight?
Or that and a dildo, if you want to cross genders.
Yeah. Or if it was just like a male one with a big erection.
Can you get those? Asking for a friend.
I'll tell you what's weird. I find weird about it is I'm sure I've seen a program on Channel 4 about sex dolls.
Eurotrash.
No, about strange men and this.
Whoa! What are you doing there? That's a microaggression.
Why?
Why are they strange?
Yeah, you're
Because they were strange.
ostracizing a minority
I don't
of sex
care.
doll users.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm ostracizing them.
Go on, what did the program show?
And I'm pretty sure this guy got a sex doll made of some girl or his ex-girlfriend, so he could like shag it all the time, basically. But they make a fortune out of it. Really,
Yeah.
is that my name?
There was I'm sure there was a thing where they were, because they make them abroad. I think it was the
In
same
America.
program. And
That's where it was.
The UK government banned them from being imported because they were
Oh,
too. They looked too young.
Yeah, that
So
was the
people
other
were
thing
getting
about
them to look
it. Younger and
illegal.
That's a weird legal thing, that, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Using, if you order a sex doll of like a 4-year-old boy,
Mm-hmm.
can you be done? Were they done, these people who ordered them?
I don't know if they were done, but they stopped the import.
Where the technology becomes too anthropomorphic, it becomes like an off switch, and we can't. It becomes a moral thing, almost a moral issue there.
It's very.
A dildo
strange.
is never going to look like you,
Well,
That's the nicest compliment anyone's ever given me.
but a sex doll could. There could be an Amish Ben sex doll
Fuck's sake.
with
Write
real,
that down.
with real 49-inch,
with a real 49 inch
49 tooth wood saw. Someone can make an Amish Ben sex doll. So
Is that an invitation to
Yeah, sure.
Patreon? Donate and we will make in real life.
Where are we going to put it?
Just get one of them
Just in the
sheep ones
corner,
and
next to
paint
Darth
it
Vader
brown.
near the door.
Darth Vader on one side.
Yeah. And naked Ben
Amish Ben. Amish sex robot Ben.
with a 49-inch penis.
Just curling around the room.
Either that or just poking Darth Vader in the head. It's his lightsaber.
49, yeah, it's like,
Probably reach, wouldn't it?
yeah, 4 foot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll do that then. Sneaky Q would do it.
Yeah.
Just cover it in latex.
Why does it
Dip
have
it
to
in
go-
latex.
I've thought
Chalk
about this.
the
Honey.
end.
For a bit more purchase. If she was cavernous in the vaginal area.
We'd have to dress it. I'm not having a naked me.
Well, it's a sex doll, so it has to be naked.
People have sex with clothes on sometimes.
What's your body hair situation, just for reference?
It's probably 3 mats.
It's a system where Matt actually is 5 mats.
Matt's 5 mats.
Oh,
yeah.
right, okay.
Yeah, I think
So I'd be
I'm
at 2
3
mats. I'd be 2 mats.
I don't think you'd be a 2 mats. I think 1 mat at max.
Oh, fair enough. Body
Got a
hair.
hairy back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you got 9 abs like Batman?
Just 1.
1 massive ab.
This is going to be a pretty weird mannequin.
They don't put bare windows on cheap properties. That's my mate Steg used to say, the electrician.
Nice. Yeah, so what Patreon is it?
Yeah, donate.
How much
like,
would it cost?
subscribe. Thousands.
I guess I'll have to get 3D scanned.
Yeah. You could wear one of those suits with the ping pong balls at the joints to get your moves.
Yeah.
Your sex moves.
And
Put one of the suits
49 ping pong balls in a line.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you could do that. What else? What the process?
There's probably
we'd have
some
to-
latex.
You have to do your
Molding.
face, wouldn't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you have to sit in a bath of
Carbonite.
yeah,
A vat of latex.
a vat of latex?
And,
Get the
and
mould.
what's that other thing? Plaster of Paris.
For your bum. Yeah, do you both ends at the same time
And you'd
then.
have to do internal as well. I've heard
Yeah,
that
rectal.
fleshlights.
Does
you can
internal
buy-
have to be accurate?
Fleshlights are. You can get ones that are modelled on porn stars.
Are the internals actually modelled, do you think?
Well, that's what I was going to ask now.
Is it just
So,
the outside?
how would you
they
do that? Maybe it's just external, because you could just put a mould over over your bits, couldn't you? And then
Yeah, just a plaster mould. Yeah, that's probably what they use with latex.
so
won't
it
they?
just looks like the outside.
Yeah. What's the point in
What's
that?
going on down the inside then? You could have different textures, I suppose. Ribbed
Yeah.
for his pleasure.
Yeah, I think they do.
Or,
I think that's the gimmick in it. They're all different.
A bit of
There was one
rifling.
that was like a Coke can. Oh, because it started as flashlight. So the first one, the original one, it looked like a
a
flashlight,
torch.
like a torch.
Did it really?
Yeah, and then they brought on one that was like a beer can. And it looked like a beer can when you unscrew the bottom and the arsehole's there. And so yeah, that's how it started, as being like a stealth masturbatory aids hidden around in plain sight. That was the gimmick.
Yeah.
That's why they're called flashlight.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. There's not much I don't know about flashlight.
Really
No, that's a joke.
surprising.
They
It's a
sponsor a lot of podcasts in the early days.
Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah.
They sponsored the Joe Rogan Experience originally.
Is there not an alternate flashlight like Coke and Pepsi?
I'm sure there's loads of. Yeah. What?
If you're an alternate flashlight company owner or employee,
and you're listening to this podcast,
so chances are
On
pretty
shot.
high, right? And you can sponsor the podcast
Yeah.
if you like.
It's like £7 a month. That probably
Is that how much
covers
it is? Yeah.
running costs. If that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Throws a tenner a month our way and we'll talk about your dick toys. Your dick toys for men.
Don't send any samples. Send some samples.
Little corrigendum on the end there. Oh God. You sent another interesting story this week about the Saudi woman who couldn't get married.
Yeah, she wasn't allowed to marry a man who played a musical instrument because playing a musical instrument made him religiously incompatible. Now, there's a lot of stories on the BBC I've seen on this sort of thing, and even linked back to them. So there was someone who got arrested for having breakfast with a woman or something, or they were seen having breakfast together and murdered 7 generations of his family or something. Probably not that bad. It wasn't North Korea. But the BBC linked to all these stories, and there seems to be a lot of them. And I was kind of thinking today, reading this one, surely not all Saudi Arabians are mental. And this isn't really indicative of what Saudi Arabia is like. There must be some, because they're quite a prosperous nation.
Yeah.
So there must be people just out there doing jobs and stuff and not being worried about guitar players
They have
or having
corporal
breakfast.
punishment in the town squares.
Yeah.
They throw gays off buildings.
So yeah,
Does that happen?
Yeah.
so but not in every town square. Surely that's the backwater
I know.
weirdness of.
I don't think so.
It happens
quite
in
common.
in the biggest ones. I mean, the city
Like
squares.
Riyadh?
Yeah. This is the town. My uncle was telling me.
I'm
The
playing
city
devil's
where-
advocate, but I just thought surely it's not all that bad.
I don't know.
I'm sure there's in all countries there are, people who are stupid and people who are nice.
So is it like stocks? We used to have the stocks in all
Yeah.
over Britain.
But or put like the
Flogging, I think they do.
what was
Guillotine as well.
the thing on that program where they put the stone under her back,
Pressed.
pressed to
Doors.
death.
Give her the doors.
The boats.
The boats. Well, there's a doors one as well, isn't there?
No,
They put your door on you, don't you?
Yeah, that's pressed.
that's the
Oh, that's
to death.
pressed,
Yeah,
right?
they use your front door as the press.
With weights, crushed to death.
Yeah.
Some people
That's
in the
historical, though. Not
Yeah.
happening now.
No, exactly. Yeah.
I think we moved on from that, essentially, is what I'm saying. They haven't.
To be fair, it was a loot, so she's probably been
Is
been saved a bit of it.
Is the link that the country's run by a royal family?
Separation of church and state and individual freedoms. They're the two principles in the. Well, what my.
Not in
two of
Saudi
my
Arabia.
fundamental principles. No, but that. The individual is paramount, and you have to separate the legal arm from any kind of religious influence.
Yeah.
The legislature. So Saudi Arabia. What's the first thing I said?
Don't know.
Separation from church and state. Well, Saudi Arabia doesn't have that because they have religious laws.
Yep.
So that's that. So what's the other thing? Separation of church and state. Individual freedom of the individual. So the reason why she can't get married is because her brothers have intervened. So that's that's affects her rights as an individual. As an individual, she's a second-class citizen in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
So
She is a bank manager and he is a teacher, the guitar player.
Is it not essentially boiled down to that her brothers have said that he is an unsuitable partner for her,
Yeah.
basically?
Yeah.
So they're just using the religious laws to... Religious...
Women require a guardian.
Yeah, I know that nonsense.
A
that's
Saudi
it.
woman can't get a passport.
Can't leave prison.
Can't leave prison, yeah. It's a fucked up one. Apply for a passport. I think go to a foreign country alone. Can't remember.
Can't leave the country.
Can't leave the country. There's about 4 or 5 aspects where a female, unmarried female, needed a protector to make the decision, allow her to make the decision. So yeah, they are second-class citizens, definitely.
But it'll be all right as long as we keep selling them Eurofighters and Hawks and whatever else we sell them on the sly.
They're going to be fucked when they run out of oil.
Yeah, I always think about that. Wonder what they're secretly investing in now.
Not guitars.
I think
Maybe guitars.
I think it's pretty true that they buy up potentially threatening patents for stuff like technologies. I've heard that.
Yeah, it's a famous conspiracy theory, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fuel companies buying up patents for like perpetual motion machines and stuff.
Not
like
necessarily for perpetual motion.
No, but that's what there are other things.
Yeah, but like for
that's the
efficient
far end
thing.
of the conspiracy.
Yeah,
Like cars that run on water. That sort
Yeah,
of stuff.
hydro powered. Yeah, that was a famous one.
it's true. Hydrogen fuel cell
Yeah.
separates the water from the oxygen. That's not true. I sped that
Hydrogen.
up.
I started watching the new season of Ozark this week.
Oh yes,
Are you on it?
watched it
No,
ages ago,
that's
a
in the
month
first
ago.
one.
You haven't seen the first one?
No.
It's really good.
We're watching
It's
Killing
okay.
Trevor Eve at the moment.
Killing Trevor.
Is that
one
Waking the
BBC
Dead?
one.
Killing Eve. Yeah, it's really good.
Waking the
It is
Dead.
good. I like Pete Doherty's granddad in it. He's good.
Is he really Pete Doherty's granddad?
No, but he looks like an old Pete Doherty.
Which one?
He wears a hat. I think he was in the thick of it or something like that.
He was in the Thin Blue Line.
The Thin Blue Line.
The
maybe.
old man called Reg
The thick,
or something.
the thin. Frank? No, Frank's the other guy. This guy,
Is he friends with
Bill.
Is he friends with the main woman,
Yes.
Susan?
He wears a scarf. He's a bit sexually ambiguous, which is alluded to in the
episode are
third
you in?
episode.
Because he wears a scarf.
No, because he talks about it. 5th episode now. We'll watch the 6th time.
So have you been to Germany yet?
Yeah, I don't want to say what's happened
Okay.
because Phil's not saying it.
I don't. He
spoilers.
won't watch it. He's not even watched Better Call Saul.
I am. I'm up to
yeah.
date.
Oh, that's
Oh, yeah.
right then.
Yeah.
I want to catch up on that because
I've not watched this week.
the new series is good.
Yeah, it's brilliantly done.
Yeah,
I love the
Nothing has
cinematography.
happened this series, really. There's just been the sense of impending doom for Kim and what she's going to do, essentially.
Yeah, it's all about the characters, really. In that,
Yeah.
it's not so much about this overarch, the story arc.
I think it's going to. It's going to. Is it not going to come to the same time as Breaking Bad? No.
It depends how well it does. They'll just keep making them, won't they? I think.
No.
I don't think there's an overarching thing.
I think there is.
Is there?
I think because
It's
it's going
leading
to
to something.
it's going to go to where he's because it does the flash forwards, doesn't it? To his.
Yeah, you think that's imminent, do you?
I don't think it's imminent.
I think if it does well, they'll drag it out and drag it out.
No, he won't because he'll just do like 6 or 7 series, won't they? Of it.
That's my idea of dragging it out.
Oh, right,
Like
okay.
7 seasons.
No, The Walking Dead has been dragged out.
Oh my god.
That is. I've watched it all actually, but it's just been getting worse and worse and
Why do you
worse.
still watch it? Because you have to complete it.
Yeah.
It's like Coronation Street.
I might have to. Yeah.
That's been going on.
Yes, I completed Coronation Street.
It had the last
Finally.
the last couple of series have been particularly bad actually.
Right, is that because Gail's left?
No, is it not Dick the Killer or something?
Dick Killer.
The one who tried to kill Gail.
Is Gail Platt not in Waking the Dead? The Walking Eve, Trevor Eve.
I used to work with somebody who called it Walking the Dead.
Walking Trevor Eve.
Walkies.
Walking the Dead, because she was obviously getting it confused with Waking the Dead. But you know,
We went to Comic Con this week.
We did, yeah.
Preston.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Did you? Oh, you didn't go?
No.
Went to the library and went to the shoe shop, but it turned out he didn't need new shoes. Although we only waited at like 45 minutes to find
Yeah,
out.
save you 30 quid though.
40 quid now, £42. I think his last pair of trainers
Oh,
were.
fucking hell.
Fucking Nike.
No.
I don't spend that on trainers.
Yeah, neither do I. Geox. They are.
Right. Are they
Geox.
designer baby ones?
I don't know.
They have to be for that price.
Yeah, well,
Fuck.
yeah, I suppose. The problem is we used to go to Clark's,
Yeah.
if you want to know.
Blackpool.
Anyway, yeah, and we'd go, and then he'd say, like, he was a size 4, and then one time some shoes got worn out or something, so we went back and said, oh, yeah, they ran out. And said, oh, he's a 3.5. I said, hang on a minute, last time he came, he said he's a 4.5. So this guy said, no, definitely a 3.5. So anyway, put him in these shoes for a couple of weeks, and then we noticed all his feet were being crushed and all red and shit. Like
Fucking hell.
so we heard about this shop in Leyland.
Oh.
Problem is it's expensive, and I've been in twice now. I bought these. We bought these shoes in the summer, and I've been back about a month ago, and then last weekend, and both times they said, "Oh, he doesn't need new shoes yet." So they sent me on my way. So there you go. You won't get that in Clark's.
That wasn't as fun as Comic-Con.
No, but there you go.
No.
You asked.
There was a really good R2 unit.
There was.
Remote piloted.
Yeah.
With full voice and lights and sounds.
Bloopy. It was good.
And did you not terrify your daughter by saying there was a man in it?
I did. Yeah, I told her there was a man in it. Is that it? Yeah, she was more intrigued. She wasn't terrified.
Can you bake it?
He's dead.
Yeah.
Rest his soul.
Yeah.
There were 2 Chewbaccas, or there were 2 Wookiees. One was Chewbacca and the other was different. Didn't like them.
No, I think they'd freak you out a little bit.
What she did like was the abundance of furries in the place.
Yeah.
There were a lot of them.
Was it just on the main floor of the Guild Hall where they do the gigs and that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of...
And a bit in the lobby.
Mm. Was it? What kind of stalls were there?
Comic book stalls.
Did you buy any comics?
Merch stalls. No, I bought a badge.
How much did you spend?
50p.
Did you not even get anything for your
Yeah, she got some stuff.
I got 2 prints.
Yeah.
Optimus the Tank Engine, which is a mashup of Optimus Prime and Thomas the Tank Engine.
You never'd say.
And Boba the Builder.
Oh, yeah.
Boba Fett and Bob the Builder.
Are they going up in here or in your
Certainly.
son's bedroom?
No, in here.
Did he get anything?
Yeah, they got some toys.
Clip round the ear hole.
There was some stores that had buckets
Did you take both of them?
Yeah.
Did you go by yourself?
No, we all went.
Oh.
They had some of the stores had buckets of old toys, like 2 for £1, and
All right.
or £2 each, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So our youngest got Superman because he's a DC nut,
Yeah.
and the older lad got a lightsaber.
Nice. It was fairly cheap, you know. A lot of stuff there was cheap, the toys and that.
These prints I got, they were 2 for £5, and I looked at his website at home, and I think they were £4 each.
Bargain.
They're nice and funny and unique. It's the only guy doing them.
There you go.
They have all sorts of high-end collectibles.
That were expensive.
There's a couple of companies that are known for making Star Wars, DC and Marvel collectibles.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of any of the names right now.
There was a store selling like guns from video games and stuff like Overwatch, and you could buy replica. I can't name any guns.
Blaster from a film or a video game or
yeah.
something. And they're actually Nerf guns.
Oh, were they?
Working Nerf guns. I asked
sweet.
her.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And there was a sign saying "Do not touch" on the store.
Do not touch!
So, yeah.
I bid on a life-size Predator head this week on eBay.
Nice.
It's a life-size.
That wasn't when you came home on Saturday night, was it?
Oh, it was last night.
That would be good for the facehugger to rest upon.
Well, I'd be ashamed to cover it up because it's so well done. Open-mouthed.
How much
Predator.
was that?
It went for over 200 quid.
Oh, fuck me.
260 quid-ish.
What was your limit on that?
170.
Okay.
Ooh.
Doesn't work, then, surely. 170 quid. Shall I show you a picture?
Yeah.
I'll just pull it up on my phone because it'll be in my failed items bucket, won't it, on eBay?
To tweet it.
Things you've bid on.
Tweet it out on the...
Bidding history or something?
Things
buying.
Oh, God.
Mistakes. Is there a mistakes folder?
Purchases. No. Bids. It'll be under bids. Oh, it's asking me to sign in. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, you've got to just save it. Just save the
No,
password.
yeah, but it's never... I normally never have to do this. I think it's logging me in. Oh, it's asking for a password. Fuck, I don't believe that. Let me Google him. He's called, if anyone who wants to look at home, his company is called Corbath, with a K.
Mm-hmm.
Creations.
Cobra Kai.
Creations. Predator. And it'll come up on Google Images. He's even got an Instagram page.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look on his Instagram. I bet I don't even have Instagram. Oh, here it is. This is the head. Look at that.
So he's made this?
Yeah, From scratch. Well, with... I think it's a mould of something, and then he decorates it and paints it. Is that not Ace?
It's okay.
Kaiser's okay.
Last one for a while. I suppose that's what you got to do, innit, with these things.
It sells one at a time.
Oh yeah. Oh god, I don't like flicking the pictures with your crack screen.
Look at that head.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah,
zoom
I
in
like
zoom in on the pictures, and the detail's amazing. I thought that's well worth 170 quid.
It's going through me, that.
She got this weird shit. Weird, right? I showed you
A
before.
good camera, isn't it?
What is
Yeah.
it? Oh, the furry. The furry at Comic Con.
Do you click on her head to make it focus on it or something?
No, it just does it automatically.
Jesus.
Jesus camera.
Yeah.
It's a weird subculture, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Although
You like
I'm
to talk
intrigued
about
by it.
Fairies all the time on this.
He
podcast.
is.
I know
one,
we do, yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah, you are.
Me.
Yeah.
You are a furry.
Big bear.
I suppose. I've not thought out £1,000 on a costume, eh?
No. I bet if you coloured all yourself pink, all your body hair pink, you would look like a fairy. And you were naked.
Why does he have to be naked all the time?
For his fur, to see his fur.
Well, I don't like where this podcast
I want to see your fur.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
For the end of a long day for Philip.
Where does it come from, the furries? What's the origin of the furry?
Dressing as animals and having a, what do you call it, a fursona. I don't know.
Wanting to escape your life.
Yeah, it's
I
escapism,
imagine.
isn't it?
It's an extreme form.
Yeah. Or it's a fetish as well for some people, isn't it?
Sexual fetish.
Like
But
the
if you're
guy,
really
like
shy and shit, you can put a fucking animal head on and you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
I wonder who the first furry was.
Well, the most
Mr.
famous
Todd.
one.
That's what mine would be.
Oh, he's-
Full tweed, foxtail.
His voice creeps me
Hat.
out.
The most famous one was the
Mr.
tiger.
Todd.
Do you remember the tiger
Oh, yeah.
in Las Vegas or somewhere like that? And he wanted to somehow was looking into getting a tail.
Well, that's extreme body modification. None of these furries are actually.
It's removable.
Yeah.
But I think that's where it goes at the one end of the bell curve.
I wonder if it started on with Trigger Happy TV and then like foxes crossing the zebra crossing.
Oh, yeah.
People dressing up in big furry outfits.
Oh, good God.
No.
No, I don't know.
I wish I hadn't Googled this.
Oh, I was Googling furries. That's a mistake.
1989 was the first furry convention.
Whoa! So there had to be a community by then.
Yeah.
89. Obviously in America.
Anthropomorphic animal characters with human personalities and characteristics. I think it's quite cool.
Show me pictures of them.
That's some early ones. They look a bit like cartoon characters.
I think that there has been rumours of it being
Sexy.
sort of infiltrated by paedophiles.
What? That's terrible.
Paedophiles infiltrating the furry community to take advantage of youngsters.
Really?
Yeah.
For fuck's sake.
I'm sure that's a thing. I'm sure
I'm sure you said that, but I'm pretty sure that
What about the Santa Claus community?
people.
Oh god.
That's even worse.
What, like the Big Santa Run?
Yeah, how many of them are
Or
people?
Text Santa? We've just been texting paedophiles all this time
Writing letters.
to pedos. Jesus.
I don't know. Oh, hang on. It says
Go on.
phrases furry lifestyle and furry lifestyler first appeared in July 1996 on the news group alt.fan.furry.
What's that website again?
That's when the internet blew up. Alt.fan.furry.
Okay.
So, sexual aspects. Homosexuality and bisexuality are overrepresented in the furry fandom
Wow.
by about a factor of 10.
Shit.
So,
It's mainly homosexuals. I
the
didn't know
furries
that.
we saw, there was a couple, a boy and a girl couple. There was one on their own, and there was a woman pushing a wheelchair. That was her wheelchair, and she had a a lead that went back to like this weird crow creature.
I saw that.
Yeah, and I thought, wow, that's
Like sexual slavery.
intense. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but
Between furries. Yeah.
Whatever
the
floats your
crow,
boat.
was it like a person in a crow outfit,
it was like,
but with a leash on?
yeah, like a white crow.
Yeah.
So beacon
With a
shit.
furry holding the end of the leash. Weird.
So, do you think there's fairies and featheries?
I think they're all furries.
Can a bird be a furry alter ego?
So 46% stated they have a minor sexual interest
In what?
in the furry subculture,
Right.
and the remaining 20. Oh, hang on. Blah blah blah. 37% sexual attraction is important. 38 were ambivalent. These numbers don't add up. 24% answered little or nothing to do with their furry activities. Oh, in a different online survey, 33% answered they had a significant sexual interest. 46 said a minor sexual interest, and 21% said a non-sexual interest. So, it's horny people dressed up as animals. Well, 1% have an interest in plushophilia, which is being sexually aroused by stuffed animal toys.
Wow. So wouldn't Freud say that just goes back to some childhood experience?
I think a lot when this kicked
comes
off,
from.
a lot of people seem to have thought it was to do with having sex with animals.
Bestiality.
Yeah, although a majority take a negative stance towards it. Less than 2% of furry respondents stated an interest in zoophilia.
Zoophilia.
Zoophilia is that
It's like the film
Bestiality.
Zootopia.
Exotic bestiality.
X4 from Pixar.
Zoophilia.
Zoophilia.
I can't find anything about a paedophile link, thankfully.
Maybe it's just anecdotal.
Maybe. This is only Wikipedia, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't subscribe to the paedophilia stories personally.
So there you go. Interesting, anyway. Better than, bridge or fucking chess or whatever.
The Stormtroopers were good.
They were.
What else was there? Oh, there's Hattie Hayridge from Red Dwarf.
Yeah.
Is that the woman or the man?
The woman. Hattie.
Blonde.
Holly.
Could be anyone.
Who else was there? The antagonist woman in Doctor Strange. She had like dark eye makeup. She came in and kicked some bottom. And then got beaten up.
Doctor Strange?
Yeah. She was mates with the.
I just watched that the other night again.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix.
She was mates with the bad guy. She was on the bad team. Anyway, she was there. One of the people who live in Dawn on Game of Thrones was there. One of the
Did you recognise the face?
family. Nah. Who else was there? Some Power Rangers that we didn't recognise.
Old Power Rangers from like Mystic Force or something.
She said she was the alien White Ranger.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, we talked about this, didn't we?
Oh, Space
SPD.
Patrol Delta.
Space Patrol Delta, yeah.
Space Patrol Delta.
And there was some old guy.
Give it a year.
I never watched it even as a
You'll be
kid.
next.
Power Rangers. I thought it was poorly made and shoddily scripted. Even when I was 5 or whatever.
It was 2 mats, if that.
One man.
Rita Repulsa.
One
Oh
man.
yeah. Zardan, what was his name?
Zohar.
No.
Zazu?
Zenden. What's the guy's name? Zordon.
It might have been Zordon. Sordon. I think you're right. It was the like the egghead in a tube.
Yeah, the big
Did
giant
you used
head.
to watch with Power
Games
Rangers?
Master. Yeah.
I didn't. It was.
Yeah, Zordon.
I'm sure it followed Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. When that finished, Power Rangers came out. I think I started getting into WWF then.
Do you know who played Zordon?
No, but
In one of the iterations.
Elon Musk.
No,
Barry Cryer.
no. Nearly. Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, I've heard that before. I've heard that before. Yeah.
There was a recent film, live action film, wasn't there?
Yeah, and he was in it.
Yeah, I think
He
was
was
he in
the
the
bad-
original though as well.
He was the baddie in it, wasn't he? I think. Oh no,
Was
was
he
he the
the baddie
goodie?
in it?
Was he the goodie?
Zordon was a goodie.
He was the goodie in it, I think.
Bryan Cranston.
Yeah. Not
Yeah.
to be confused with Branston Pickle.
Richard Cranston.
Any space news?
No, but a great win for heterosexual couples.
Oh.
The civil partnership.
Finally, civil partnership has been legalised.
Equality has happened, is that right?
For heterosexual couples. No,
So now anyone can be anything.
different sex couples. They say it, don't they? They don't
Is that?
say
Do you not say
heterosexual.
heterosexual anymore?
I think they said different sex couples. Yeah, not same sex couples. That's because that's what they would say. I suppose you'd have to say gay then, wouldn't you, or lesbian or some homosexual.
Oh yeah, homo and hetero are Greek for same and different. Latin, Greek.
I don't know.
Greek, surely.
It must be Greek.
Yeah.
Yeah, so big win for us.
That's uncontroversial, isn't
You
it?
should do it.
Yeah, you should.
Why?
You should, because then
Then we
you're
can have a
granted the
fucking
same
stag
rights.
do.
You're granted the same rights as a married couple. Then
I don't see how that would be more likely to happen than a marriage for us. I think that she would want a marriage.
stick in the mud.
Well, it's not me. Yeah, it wouldn't bother me any other way. It's just a grammatical difference, isn't it? The difference between marriage and civil partnership. It's just
There's now.
it's the same thing in the eyes of the law.
I think people don't like the patriarchal connotations with the marriage and the traditional man.
To honour
Obey.
and obey.
It's another
can't
side
remember
effect
what-
from the political correctness.
Of course it is.
I
Everything
can't remember
is.
what my wife said actually. Whether she said honour or and obey.
Disrespect.
I don't think she did. You know,
Should know.
you can choose. You
Nag?
can choose what you
Was
say.
it nag?
Nag and piss off.
Nag, piss off.
Get mad for no reason. To get mad for no reason now listening to this. Love
Can we
you.
have some baked goods next week?
No.
No eating on the
I
podcast.
should try to get Bolt because it's going to be the first Sunday of the month.
Is that Quiz Monday? Quiz Sunday?
Yeah, maybe if he's got one ready.
I brought some Christmas fingers.
Should we have some
First Christmas item I've seen.
Well, since Phil's not had any wasabi piece, we have some Christmas fingers instead.
Yeah, well, I
Give
can't.
wasabi piece a chance.
Do you want me to open them?
Yeah, it's not Christmas yet, but
A snowy finger.
They are just chocolate fingers now with
yeah,
different packaging.
white and
White chocolate.
Oh,
and,
so it's a different
dark
product.
chocolate. Yeah,
Oh, that's.
So is it like white chocolate for snow and then dark chocolate for muddy snow?
I think they're just inclusive fingers.
How do you get?
Don't be microaggressive.
Is it 10 in a box?
Oh no! Look,
That's
they're
loads.
stripy.
Oh,
There
there's
you go.
millions.
They're white on top and then milk chocolate underneath.
Nice.
There you go. Best of both worlds.
Biscuit in the middle. What was the? Oh, that's hurting me.
Thank you.
You can't get better than a Cadbury's finger. No, is that the
Can't get
punchline?
fitter than a quick fit.
Yeah, I've done a catchphrase mashup there, haven't I?
No, what you've done is got a catchphrase wrong.
No, but I've mashing two together.
Right, everyone lean back.
What?
Munch away. Munch from a distance.
Oh,
They're very nice. They're very nice.
can't really taste them over the gin.
It's you going.
Sorry.
Do it again.
Sorry.
Again.
I'm not.
Can you hear me?
Let's not have any more of these.
Do you always buy the first Christmas item you see?
Never.
No. It's not a tradition, a family tradition.
Absolutely not.
So why did you buy them?
On a whim. Most of the things I do is a whim. On a whim.
It struck you as apparent at the time when you saw it that that's the first Christmas thing I've seen. I'll buy that.
I was struck with immediate disgust and desire to have it inside me. So, so I bought it. And here we are.
We're going to melt these I'm gonna melt these down, and then make a mould of your genitalia.
Why?
The Amish Ben chocolate dildo.
The
Yeah.
biscuit would not melt.
The chocolate coating would. That's probably why there's two
The
trays.
correct answer is, Ben, there's not enough chocolate in there to
Wow.
make a mould
I was
between
working
them
up to
two
it.
boxes.
It would be if we just scraped it thinly.
I'm not sure it'd be a big seller, to be honest.
No, you're not gifted in that department.
Rubbiness.
Rubbiness.
Oh, what are you going to do? Cast a dildo out of my genitalia?
No.
No.
It's not like The Exorcist. Christ compels thee!
Because it won't get hard. Christ compels thee. Give me a semi.
I was talking about. I
It's my
thought
big
you were
moment.
saying you had some sort of phantom dildo that possessed your genitalia, and we were casting it out.
Oh, right. Oh, I see.
I thought that's what you meant. Cast it out.
No, in a mold.
It's not really funny when you have to explain the joke.
No,
so
sorry.
Probably the listeners would have got that.
They probably will. You can edit all this shit out, right?
So, Cadbury's fingers, not enough chocolate for your balls. And
No.
get onto that. All right. Does it strike you? So you're not happy with Christmas coming earlier every year? Doesn't you? That irks you off, does it?
I think the older I get, the more,
Bitter.
the more angry I am.
I quite
Why?
like.
Do you not like Christmas?
I do. I love it.
I think I'm enjoying peak Christmas because I have a nice front room now, and I can make it really Christmassy. So I have a fireplace that I can put a plastic. Are they called it's not a wreath if it's in a circle, is it? Not in a circle.
Oh, a
Like
garland.
A garland across the mantelpiece, and I have a log burner. So I'm polluting the neighbourhood, but it looks nice and Christmassy. I have a nice Christmas tree these days. In fact, I've had a real Christmas tree last year. I think I'll get a real one again. So it's all looking up.
For me, there's two triggers for me to get Christmassy. The first trigger is the 1st of December. That's my big day.
That's the countdown.
That's when. That's the
zero.
day I book off work.
I think kind of.
1st of December. As soon as I buy a diary, 1st of December, day gets crossed out because that's the day the Christmas lights go up outside,
Right.
and it's an affair.
Yes, we're aware.
I think it took a day last year. It was either a day or a day and a half.
What do you think you're going to add to the collection this year?
Well, because the second Christmas thing that goes off in my head is what it makes me feel Christmassy is when the CPC Christmas catalogue comes through the door, and it has all the new Christmas lights for the year, and I get excited. Then
My
I go through
wife-
it. What can we get?
My wife has been buying Christmas lights
Yeah,
in the summer because they're cheaper.
right. Yeah, I'm looking. The thing is, I know the market really well. I'm looking for something new that's coming out for this Christmas.
Yeah. And what
So
you're
I'm not
looking
gonna get something. Yeah, if it's just for a new string lights for the bedroom window, then yeah, you can pick that up at B&M Bargains in somewhere cheaper. But
what
the thing that excites me is seeing what's the new thing that I can add this year.
Like projectors were a big thing a couple of years ago, right?
I looked into projectors and they're not powerful enough. You can only really see them properly if you know the lights working on the house.
Right.
They need the darkness to be effective. But you can get these mini projectors that I have that are like white and warm white rotating disco.
Do you not have those
balls.
last year?
Yeah, what I got last year. And they're projectors, but because they're low down, you point them straight at a surface and it catches the lights.
Short throw.
Yeah, short throw of lights. So they work really well, and they rotate and shine like a pattern on the driveway. So I'm always looking for what's it gonna be this year. I won't do inflatables. I draw a line at inflatables.
Okay.
I think they're tacky. Whereas I'm classy. Where's a classy display?
I think you need to go
Colour coordinates.
multimedia. Do you have any audio?
No, I won't do that for neighbours. They're driving nuts.
Right.
Just has a light blasting into them.
Fucking Griswold. Then yuppies next door. Fucking hell.
And a woman has won the Nobel Science Award, Physics Award.
First time in 55 years.
Yeah, but she was on a team of men.
There was 2 men and her.
Yeah.
And the same week, someone at CERN got sacked for saying physics was built by men or something.
No, what it was.
You're mixing the 2 stories there.
No, it is 2 stories.
It wasn't. It didn't work for CERN, I don't think. Or did he?
Yeah, he did.
Did he?
Yeah.
But what he said was a bit balmy.
Men did all the stuff.
What it was a convention. Is it a convention? Do they call it a convention, Ben?
Conference,
that's it. And for up-and-coming young female physics researchers,
Right.
and this fucking Italian guy basically did a presentation or whatever, basically saying how men were better at physics and invented physics, and women get all the decent contracts because they're women and all this carry on.
Why did they hire him?
I don't think they mustn't have known, basically, but he
must
must have
have just got
submitted an
bitter about
abstract.
something, then.
Well, apparently because he said in his spiel that women. He's in his actual presentation, he was saying that he went through a load of awards that women won over him, and he felt that he should have had basically grants for research, and it all been awarded to women over him, basically, when he was more qualified or something.
I can't believe how this guy got through the admissions process to be able to give him a platform at a convention like that.
Well, yeah, because he probably would have submitted an abstract.
Unless it was a surprise attack.
A surprise presentation.
Yeah, and then he had a preemptive.
Or his abstract wasn't entirely reflective of the content of the presentation.
So what's happened to him?
Well, did he work for CERN then, and was he sacked?
Yeah, and he was sacked.
It was pretty bad what he was saying, to be fair, from what I heard.
It's where this PR thing comes into it, really.
Yeah.
Should you be sacked for something you say
suspended
outside of work? Well, when you...
It's not outside of work, though, is it? If it's a conference at CERN...
But he wasn't... Oh, really?
It was at CERN.
You see, I'm thinking he was coming into that environment to speak at.
But the other thing is that even if you're speaking at a conference, you're often doing it on the behalf of the university you're employed by. So if you're there as an employee, you're tied or whatever by the rules of your employer, essentially, because you're on work time.
It was contrary to the CERN's code of conduct, but he works for the Pisa University.
There you go, then.
But regularly works at CERN.
Right.
Speaking at a workshop, wasn't a conference.
Right.
It was a
in
workshop.
Geneva on gender and high energy physics.
Ooh.
Sounds great. I'd have signed up to that. He produced a series of graphs. Discrimination against men, I think, was the title of his thing. And he's given some examples. Oxford University extends exam times for women's benefit.
Really?
Italy, free or cheaper university for STEM female students.
I've heard that before, and I don't think it's true. Or maybe it is true. I don't know.
What else? What were his other reasons? Citations.
2-to-1 faculty preference for women on STEM tenure track. Melbourne University had STEM positions for women only.
There's probably numbers that you can find that corroborate this,
Exactly,
but it's just numbers, isn't it? You know,
Yeah, cherry picking.
how can you can't trust them really.
90% of all statistics are made up on the spots.
Lies, damn lies, and statistics.
Really?
Who said that? We're someone famous.
You just said it then.
Yeah, I'm not famous.
I don't know.
Not yet. Lies.
Did you like the second season of Ozark? I've not seen it all yet.
I'll give it 4 mats.
All right, good. I think it's.
I think it's just as good as the
brilliant.
first series.
I think it's brilliant.
You wrote Innocence
He is
Abroad.
brilliant. Jason Bateman is brilliant, and his wife.
Yeah. What episode are you up to?
About 6, I think.
What's happened?
The poppy field's been burnt down, and they found them bodies, and then
So
they got
much
away
stuff
with it.
happens. So much stuff happens.
Yeah,
Is it about florists?
yeah, kinda.
Kinda.
Cartel florists.
I'm not mad keen on the kids
Yeah,
and their
they're a bit,
acting.
they're a bit shit, aren't they?
Or there's characters.
The
whatever.
characters are quite poor, aren't they?
Yeah, they're a bit.
Yeah.
They've been done.
Yeah.
Done before. But
I think that what I struggle
But it is
with is
brilliant.
so much happens all the time. It gets a bit like, you need to slow it
Overfaced.
down a bit. But I think that's the whole point of it, isn't it? That it's supposed to be so fast
the
paced.
first series built and built, where it was small mistakes, small bad things, small
Yeah.
accumulating and getting worse and worse and worse, and
Yeah.
and then he gets away. They sort it out.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm hoping it's going to be like that when it's building up. It's good. I think it's really good. It's worth watching.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Yeah,
Definitely worth watching.
Jason Bateman's awesome in it.
Mhm.
I've not really seen him in a lot of things.
Doesn't
Seen
do a
How I
lot of
Met Your
straight
Mother?
acting, does he?
Sorry?
How I Met Your Mother.
No,
Is it
he's the
that?
one
Jason
in
Bateman?
Arrested Development. Is what he
Ah,
got
right.
famous in.
Who am I thinking of?
But he's been loads of stuff.
He was in a good film I saw.
The
that we
Games
talked
Night.
About. Yeah, Games Night.
Film.
It was Mark Twain, damn license statistics.
Of course it was. The first stand-up comedian,
Yeah.
some people
Really?
say. Some people credit him as being the first stand-up comedian. Mark Twain.
That's so great.
Yeah, not known for his humour, I don't think.
You didn't write any books, Socrates?
Didn't write any books.
Nope.
Didn't need to.
Everyone wrote his point of view, wrote his stuff down.
Yeah. Who was his?
How do we know it's-
Plato?
Plato.
Yeah, Plato wrote all his
So
stuff.
like the dialogues is Plato's conversations with different people, like Socrates.
Yeah,
Plato's dialogue.
Socrates.
So there's no, but there must be quotes from Socrates. But
Not
they're
that he
passed
wrote.
down.
He never produced any literature.
Wow, I should know that. Never knew that.
No, you do. I finished Jordan B. Peterson, B. Michael B.
Oh,
B.B.
the
King's book.
Was it audible?
It was barely audible.
What's it all about?
It sounds like Kermit.
It's good. He pronounced the B in subtle twice
Right.
in the whole
Subtle.
book. Subtle. But I thought it was very good. And
What are you going to use from it then, Ben?
Yeah, what are your takeaways?
I'm going to have to listen to it again. I can't remember the first bit.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Or what's your general oeuvre, your perspective
I
of
think-
the oeuvre?
I think if you like that book, you have to start implementing it.
Yeah,
otherwise
no,
it's
I
pointless.
think you're right, and I suppose it's the whole thing's about self improvement and that, and there's always space for that.
I think it's a self-help book, essentially.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, it is a self-help book, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've related to various
Oh,
things.
it's a Nazi propaganda, if you listen to some people.
Oh, fuck.
Alt-right, hate tank.
Alt-right hate saying
It
Jordan B.
is.
Peterson.
Some of the values are right-wing, aren't they? I suppose, but I think a lot of it is. I don't know if you were brought up by somebody who was born in 1938 like me, then it's all old news basically.
Did you think, having read the book, Ben,
Yeah.
that there was a lot of conservative values in there?
No,
I don't think there was.
no, I
any.
don't think it was.
Yeah, I didn't say my dad was conservative.
No, Jordan, the 12 Rules for Life.
Yeah, no.
You said that because it's known for being having conservative views.
Right-wing.
Right-wing views, sorry.
Oh,
I read it and I don't think there are.
No, that's all. He gets emotional when he's reading it. Sorry, because I've got the Audible version.
Did you get emotional?
Yeah, you could hear his voice cracking when he's talking about his daughter, who was diagnosed
At the end of the book? Fuck.
with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis at age 6.
Yeah. Bro,
That's a lot to fucking deal
by
with.
the age
for-
of
for
something
everyone.
like 12, she'd broken like fucking 300 bones. Those aren't the numbers, but it was something stupid, something horrific.
I think there are
By the time she's
206
broken last
bones
one,
in the
yes,
human body.
The first one's healed again.
300.
No, it's just breaking each one every day.
Again,
now.
yeah,
And they heal quick.
Right,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
a horrific story.
yeah, it is.
I bet you got emotional talking about that. Well, you like the book?
Yeah, I do, and I am going to go back and I might buy the text version.
You can borrow
Flick
it.
through it.
It's up there. Take it home tonight if you want.
I've still got.
So,
I need to bring you
was there anything specific that you thought you might implement?
Yes, but I can't bring anything to mind. Fuck's sake.
Oh.
It's like 16 hours. I've been listening to it on car journeys to and from work.
It's more a general feeling of that was worth listening to, and I'm going to look into implementing. Is that
Yeah,
where
it made a lot of sense. There's a lot of Bible references in there.
He's talking
Yeah.
about ancient archetypes, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, there's where then Bible stories come from.
Well, they were
An
relevant.
oral- an
They were
oral tradition.
relevant to his points. So
They go back thousands of years.
Yeah.
There is some intrinsic value into them.
Definitely.
I don't see that as a detriment in invoking Bible stories to illustrate some points.
No. I think
That's fine.
one of his rules is treat yourself as someone who needs to be looked after. Which that chimed a little bit with me.
People self-sacrifice, don't they?
Well, the thing is a lot of the time people put other people's needs ahead of their own, especially in my line of work. They will do something for like the child or a friend that they won't do for themselves.
What specifically will they not do?
Could be anything.
Oh, something like dentists. So they'll take the child to the dentist
go
and not go themselves.
Yeah,
That's
or
an example.
Yeah, or exercise, or like they'll take the child to go and play in a football team, but they won't go and play themselves, or things like that.
Be specific was a point in there about when you're kind of trying to figure out what you want. I guess it's a bit like finding yourself to use a worn out term. But when he was talking about it, I tried to think about who I am and what I want, and I didn't know the answer. But I suppose you have to listen. It's difficult to listen to. It's as difficult, if not more difficult, to listen to yourself than to listen to someone else. In my experience. So I think I need to sit down and check myself before I wreck myself.
Do you do a lot of introspection?
Not only when I'm driving.
Drunk?
I'm drunk.
I'm drunk. No, that's
Haggling a taxi journey home.
all stereospective. Yeah, £15. I think that's the best one yet.
What?
£15 taxi home.
Oh, right.
Victory.
What time did you get your taxi?
What?
What time did you get your taxi?
I don't fucking know. 3.
I can go down a rabbit hole with Jordan Peterson on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, I've not seen
People
any of
make
his other stuff.
compilation. You've not seen any of his other
No,
You've not seen his YouTube stuff? Fucking hell.
There's loads of interviews.
I know,
on
I need
YouTube
to.
and
I need-
stuff,
this is-
taking things apart. And
I'd like to do this.
Him giving presentations or talking events or lessons, his courses, things like that.
And I'm not
There's people
necessarily.
make compilation videos. Or there's those destroy videos. Jordan P. Peterson destroys lefty,
Oh, yeah.
or something like that. People use it
murdered
for,
by words, sort
for
of thing.
political points.
I think I'm not suddenly a massive fucking Jordan Peterson fan, and
Right.
his word is
No,
gospel.
you're only scratching the surface.
Exactly, and there are going to be thousands of other people who have the same sort of views as he does, and better and different. And maybe if I start listening to myself, I'll
not wreck yourself.
have a look around.
I
and
find
see
him
what
inspiring.
What else chimes?
He can inspire me just through watching his videos and listening to his interviews. I find him quite inspiring sometimes. He talks about carrying a load,
Bearing
lifting-
a cross.
Yeah, it is bearing a cross, lifting a weight, pick something. What the fuck?
What the hell?
Sorry, I just realised why he was laughing.
Why is he laughing?
Carrying a load.
Why is that funny?
Sorry,
Carrying a load.
forget that.
Jizz, innit?
Oh god.
Awful. Sorry about that.
Yeah, they made me really jump.
He talks a lot about responsibility.
Yes.
You can't have rights without responsibilities.
No.
And that there is It's talking about the meaning of life in a way.
What's the meaning of life?
Responsibility, according to Jordan B.
Anything you like.
is a massive component.
Yeah.
Bearing a load, being responsible. That's what brings meaning to your life. It's not materialistic things or
No.
anything else.
No, it's
I
not.
thought there was some truth to that. It inspired me to be more responsible and to pull my finger out and get cracking.
Is that why you put a limit of £170 on the Predator?
The thing is,
Hey, it's a learning process.
how many teeth does a predator have?
I don't know.
About 8 I found this week. Not as
Okay.
many as I thought, or maybe 16. But
Big teeth, though, right?
yeah, well, 4 big uns,
Yeah.
but they're and then smaller ones in the middle with like it's a vagina shaped small mouth in the middle. And
Do you reckon that's a
mouth.
flashlight option?
Holding on to dreads.
Christ.
That's sort of like extreme furry, isn't it? He's in a predator.
Extreme.
The Xenimal.
Oh, fuck. I'll get on to the predator. The thing is, with the predator, 170 quid, right? And you two think it's stupid.
We never said that, Phil.
Well, you think it's funny. You can't believe that I would pay £170 for a predator head.
We can believe it.
I'm not on a fixed income, right? So
Unlimited income.
I can just go out on if I spend 170 quid on a predator head, I'll go in for Saturday for half a day or a day. Or I'll go for Saturday half a day and I'll work till 6 on Wednesday. That's
Yeah,
me
so you don't
170
see it as
quid.
money, you see it as time, I guess.
Yeah, in a way.
This Predator said it equals one Saturday
Was
afternoon.
it worth it? If I can have this in my man cave, is it worth doing that Saturday?
That's it.
Yeah, fuck it. You know, your basic what you earn generally on average is maybe what covers your income. You know,
Yeah,
you
you
think,
know,
well, that's what I
that's-
earn. So that's what I earn on average. I've got my mortgage to come out, my bills to come out, my overheads to come out. And then I've got me living on money for Aldi pre-cooked bacon and stuff. So
traders.
that's fine. And that's what the situation most of us are, well, we're all in.
Yeah.
Except I'm not, because I can say, oh, I'll bring that woman forward to this Saturday and I'll box her off this Saturday instead of next week and pull some extra money in. And not insignificant amounts.
No.
So it's weird because it makes you appreciate the value of money a lot more,
Yeah.
because it just doesn't automatically get transferred in your bank account whether you turn up or have a sick day or whatever. It's guaranteed money. I have to physically earn every penny I earn.
What are you trying to say about us desk jockeys?
Well, that it gives you a better appreciation for money when you know some jobs it's easier earned than others, or more guaranteed than others. I'm not saying the right words, not being precise, as Jordan Peterson would like. But I don't have that security of income,
Right.
but I can do the payoff for that is I can do extra when I want, and pay for things if I want them. If I want a lightsaber or a predator head.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose.
So to me, £170 is good. I'd be happy with that.
Right, that's fine. That's
He
fine.
makes other things. He makes Darth Maul.
Does he?
Yep. He makes Yoda. He makes a Darth Yoda, which is Yoda with Darth Maul's horns and spray paint face paint on, like a mashup. He does Boba Fett helmet. He does Blade, Wesley Snipes. What else have I seen him do? Freddy Krueger, Darth Vader. But to me, the Predator one is like the coolest that I've seen him do so far. He's great. Koba Creations, Koba Creations, is on Instagram or eBay. I don't know why I'm telling people, advertising this, because I want to bid against these people to win a Predator head when he makes the next
It's
one.
only 10 people, isn't it?
I've not checked how many listeners we've had recently.
I know. We normally get updates.
I think I'm going to get a fursuit furry, just the head fur in here. We can hang it up somewhere. Yeah. Oh no, they're £450.
Fucking really?
Yeah.
God, how much is a full costume then?
A lot.
Shit.
Maybe I'm not using right.
A furry would make a really good, them floor mats they used to have in olden days with an animal skin.
Yeah.
Made out of a furry.
That'd be ace.
Some like purple dragon fox.
Yeah, like wearing
Purple
jeans and a
dragon
check
fox.
shirt. or something.
Yeah, with leopard print on. It's
Nice.
a furry persona. Have that as your rug. God, I wonder if I could get to make that for in here.
Colby.
A furry rug. That's a furry helmet and it's £300.
£300. All best offer. Now I'm on a fixed income, and I don't think that's worth it.
No, exactly. No.
Why
Whereas
is it
I
so
think, well, I can.
expensive?
If I work next weekend, I can have that furry head.
All weekend.
A furry rug would look ace though, wouldn't it? The furry skin. Wonder if you.
Put it here.
Wonder how easy it would be to make that.
A furry
The
rug.
head is the hardest point, isn't it?
Well, I
With the
know.
open mouth.
Look, you can get partial head, paws, and tail.
Oh, that's
For,
nearly halfway there.
$350 Australian dollars.
Oh, fuck, that's a lot of money.
£200.
I'm thinking either that or a
Saturday,
furry
no
head
Wednesday.
on a mount, like you mount a
Well,
stag's
that's what I
head.
was thinking, getting him out and getting him on the stick.
But the other hunting connotation would be the skin rug, the fairy skin rug.
Fuck
Both
me.
hunting things.
£1,500 for a partial head, paws, tail fox.
That in the UK?
Yeah.
No,
Fucking
US
hell.
dollars.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
US. It's in my t-shirt.
Oh yeah, it's the thing.
Steve.
The guy.
This one has a moving jaw, so you could open the mouth.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Ooh, sexy.
That looks really expensive.
Yeah, that looks a bit weird, that one.
750 quid.
Units of currency, I think it's dollars.
Fuck.
Chicken suit.
It might have to be a homemade furry rug.
I think people do make them.
I saw another woman on
my
eBay
God.
who does knitted Star Wars characters. Oh
Knitted
my Christ. Jazz hands.
That's how I can tell he's excited.
Probably goes.
Oh, no,
to
it's the lipstick.
Manchester University.
Did you hear about fucking rape culture and dogs?
No.
You heard about this thing?
Do you mean dogs or ducks?
Dogs.
I've heard about it in ducks.
Yeah, it is in ducks. There's this group of guys, right? And they've started punking scientific journals and universities by sending them made up research papers and getting them published.
Most research papers are made up.
Getting them peer reviewed and published in scientific journals. And one of them was that dogs. It was something to do with dogs and rape culture. The link between dogs and rape culture. It was complete nonsense, but it got published in a scientific journal.
How the fuck are we going to differentiate between what's real and what's not
Don't know.
in the near future?
How do you mean?
So if people are doing that, you'll start out with mad ones that just slip through the net because crusty old professors will peer review anything for 20 quid. But eventually you'll get more and more kind of subtle homeopathy cures cancer sort of shit.
I'll tell you why. Because this is why it's being publicised. So the market corrects and we stop all this. And we make scientific papers in universities back to what they should be.
Right.
These professors don't accept this thing. There's a book behind you there called The Science Delusion by Rupert Sheldrake.
Okay.
And it was written as like an answer to The God Delusion by
Richard Dawkins.
Dawkins. And a lot of the book is about people. In fact, I used to say this when I was stupid and young. I don't believe in God. I believe in science. Like science is it was like something that
Deity.
kids who wanted to be cool atheists used to say. I don't believe in science. God, I believe in science. So that book breaks down where the weaknesses are in the peer review system and stuff like that. And scientists, human beings, are subject to financial pressures, securing funding, all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So there are problems with science, and that's what this is trying to do. It's trying to show that these ridiculous papers can get through this net and be published, and it's trying to raise awareness so that the general public is an outcry and we get it changed and things improve.
Or the general public just stops trusting experts and believing journals, which is already happening over in the States.
Yeah.
About people not trusting experts and fake news and all that shit.
Yeah, so they should stop publishing it.
Yeah.
So science is to blame for the rise of Trump.
Fucking science.
Duh. Strange conclusion.
Well,
Not.
yeah.
Love you, bye. That's someone else's.
It's 10 o'clock.
Oh, shit.
It's past my bedtime.
On a Wednesday.
I was wondering.
Genghis Khan.